Happiness, a concept that has intrigued philosophers, scholars, and thinkers throughout history, is a state of being that transcends the boundaries of time, culture, and circumstance. To delve into the profound exploration of happiness, we turn to the ancient wisdom of Epictetus, a prominent Stoic philosopher whose teachings shed light on how we can attain true happiness. The Stoic sage. Epictetus was born around the year 50 AD in the Greek city of Hierapolis. His life began in the shackles of slavery within a wealthy household. However, fate had more in store for him than a life of servitude. Epictetus's journey towards philosophical enlightenment began when a Roman named Epaphroditus recognized his potential and granted him the opportunity to study philosophy. This pivotal moment led him to the Stoic philosophy of Musonius Rufus, setting the stage for Epictetus to become one of the most influential Stoic philosophers of all time. Philosophy of inner peace. Stoicism, the philosophical school to which Epictetus belonged, ushered in a new era of philosophical thought that placed human perception at the core of true knowledge, happiness, and tranquility. To comprehend how we can genuinely be happy, we turn to the 5 fundamental teachings of Epictetus. Embracing the dichotomy of control, Epictetus, more than any other Stoic of his time, emphasized the significance of the Stoic principle of control. For him, the most vital task for human beings is understanding what is and isn't under their control. Grasping the dichotomy of control means recognizing that there are things over which we have control: our opinions, goals, desires, reactions, and aversions. On the other hand, there are things beyond our control: external events, nature, our bodies, possessions, reputation, and the reactions and aversions of others. To achieve happiness, we must focus solely on what lies within our control, our responses, and our reactions to the world's situations. The human objective, according to Epictetus, is to live in harmony with nature, aligning ourselves with the design of the world. Once humans discern what's within their control, they can surrender to external events and circumstances beyond their control. In such situations, individuals can only manage their responses and reaction to them. One can choose either to be disturbed by an event or to accept it. Life's primary task is simply this: identifying and distinguishing matters to discern which are external elements beyond one's control and which pertain to choices one genuinely controls. Epictetus's Stoicism didn't aim to evade unpleasant or unfavorable situations, as this is inherently impossible. Instead, it focused on enduring such situations without disturbance. When something is beyond our control, we should be prepared to say, "This is nothing to me." Stoicism was a tool for self-mastery and wisdom, setting it apart from other philosophies that necessitated academic inquiry to find human value and happiness. The goal was to live in alignment with nature and the world's design. Reading Epictetus's manual. What set Epictetus apart was his use of memorable and captivating phrases, many of which were compiled into what is often known as the Enchiridion, or the Manual of Epictetus. Like many Stoic thoughts and teachings, the content of the manual can be read in minutes but reflected upon for a lifetime. Epictetus's teachings sparked a profound shift in how individuals viewed and interacted with the world, with the central lesson being that true happiness lies in accepting everything that happens to us, even all that unfolds in the world. Epictetus taught that humans should neither desire nor have aversions to external events beyond their control, as doing so would be a misuse of time and serve no purpose in the pursuit of virtuous and happy living. When humans fail to grasp or comprehend the concept of the dichotomy of control, Epictetus argued, they sentence themselves to a life of dissatisfaction and unhappiness. If you consider anything beyond your control as your own, you'll have trouble, he cautioned. Such an individual would have a disturbed mind and would criticize both gods and fellow humans. Epictetus continued by advising against demanding that things happen as one wishes. Instead, he urged embracing events as they transpire, which would lead to a tranquil life. Humans as mortal and rational beings. At the heart of Epictetus's philosophy lies his conception of what it means to be human, to be a rational, mortal being. According to Epictetus, humans possess reason, which gives them the capacity to use their impressions reflectively. Like animals, Humans navigate the world with instantaneous perceptions of their surroundings and circumstances. However, humans also possess the faculty of assent, allowing them not only to react to external events, but also to examine the content of their impressions. The use of impressions enables humans to determine whether a circumstance is true or false, favorable or unfavorable. Epictetus emphasized the need to remain undisturbed by external events, as external situations only become good or bad when our faculty of assent labels them as such. Men are not disturbed by things, but by the views which they take of things, he asserted. If one finds oneself in an unfavorable circumstance beyond their control, such as an act of nature or someone's actions towards them, they should firmly remind oneself that it doesn't matter. When someone harms or speaks ill of you, remember that they act or speak as they see fit. It's their business. This perspective allows individuals to navigate life's challenges with composure. Understanding this concept is paramount to living a happy life. Attaining apatheia, freedom from passions. But what about when good things happen to us? Are we allowed to judge them as good and feel happiness? Epictetus taught that even positive emotions and favorable situations can cloud our judgment and divert us from our true goals and values. Instead, we should aspire to live in a mental state known as apatheia, which is characterized by freedom from passions. Apatheia should not be mistaken for indifference toward people or the world. Rather, it is the avoidance of suffering. Suffering can arise when we incorrectly judge external circumstances, such as wealth and health, as ethically good. However, these things do not bring true virtue or happiness. True happiness, according to Epictetus, comes from accepting things as they are without judgment and dedicating our time only to things we can control, our values, goals, and reactions. Epictetus didn't deny that we can embrace feelings of joy and positive emotions, but, like many ancient philosophers of his time, he stressed the importance of not being swayed by pleasures and hedonistic temptations. He taught that we cannot simultaneously live a worldly life based on external satisfactions and a philosophical life where happiness stems from within. Dedication to the three disciplines of Epictetus. In his discourses, Epictetus described three categories of activities aimed at helping individuals implement his Stoic principles. These categories, known as topoi, or fields of study, are practical exercises that, when successfully pursued, lead humans towards a eudaimonic life, a life of flourishing. The three areas of study to which a person seeking to be good and noble must dedicate themselves are the discipline of desire and aversion. This discipline involves understanding what is truly good and virtuous and desiring only those things. When humans desire things that are not genuinely good or virtuous, they fall into misery, sadness, and anxiety. Passions and desires tied to external things or situations lead to frustration and despair. Epictetus stated, "When I see a man anxious, I ask myself, what does this man want? If he didn't want something that was not his own, how could he still be anxious?" The discipline of action. The discipline of action pertains to our impulses to act or not act, and understanding that the consequences of our actions are not always within our control. Just as an archer shooting at a target must worry less about the outcome and more about the quality of the action, we too should prioritize the quality of our actions over their outcomes. Our aim should be to do our best, recognizing that doing our best is the best we can do. The discipline of assent. Building on his concept of impressions, Epictetus's third field of study involves interpreting and judging the world and external situations. We should act in a manner that prevents us from falling prey to subjective impressions, allowing us to remain free from deceit and hasty judgments regarding how to proceed. In summary, Epictetus's teachings on the disciplines of desire, action, and assent provide practical guidelines for living virtuously and attaining true happiness. Relevance today. For over 500 years, Stoicism remained one of the most influential philosophical movements in the Roman world. From the Renaissance to the late 19th century, Stoic ideas were considered one of the most significant ancient influences on European ethics. Influential philosophers and thinkers, including Augustine, Descartes, Spinoza, Adam Smith, David Hume, and Kant drew inspiration from Stoicism. Today, we can see the influence of Epictetus's thoughts on control within psychological methods such as cognitive reframing and cognitive behavioral therapy. These methods aim to help individuals reinforce positive thought patterns and behaviors necessary for understanding what is within or beyond their control. Focusing on what one can control, including reactions and responses, is a powerful tool to avoid becoming a victim of circumstances. By accepting that things are as they are, happiness can be found in an individual's inner state of peace. This inner peace and acceptance enable individuals to live in harmony within an unpredictable world rather than being in conflict with it. Epictetus's wisdom endures as a timeless guide to achieving genuine happiness, reminding us that even in the face of adversity, we have the power to shape our inner world and find contentment in the acceptance of life's ebbs and flows. Like this video and subscribe to our channel for more wisdom and knowledge.